It's the last day of October, 1990. My name is Pastor Tim Keeler. I'm the pastor of First Lutheran Church. I've been the pastor here since August of 1989. I'm standing here at the altar. This is the view I see each Sunday morning, usually with a few more people out there. This is the view of our church. There's something I wanted to do. I wanted to take this borrowed camera and take a walk through our church building. It could be that in the next several months, this building will come tumbling down and we'll be making way for a new building. I wanted to preserve a memory of this building for myself. Perhaps you will want to have a copy of this tape as well. It won't be very fancy, but it will be a record of the building that we have used for some time. The people in this congregation have grown in faith within its walls. It's something that we will miss. We've grown attached to. It has served well. We should not forget it. So if you will, join me and we'll take a walk through our building. Before me, you see the baptismal font. And the organ and piano. And beyond them, the lectern. One of the things people have really loved about this building is the beautiful woodwork that is in it. Here is an example. Through this door is the sacristy where people, acolytes, prepare themselves they get robed, where I as pastor can make last-minute arrangements with people before worship begins, where the paraments are stored and where communion is prepared. Also a small room in the sacristy, off the sacristy, contains the PA equipment. I'll move around the altar now. You see the choir loft. One of the problems with our building that we would like to correct or do better in the new church is to have the choir be in a different position, to be located out in the congregation, to be a part of the congregation, so they might better help in leading the congregation in singing, and so that they will be in front of the pulpit and will not have to look at the back of my head. Stepping down now from the level of the altar, we'll move backwards. You see the beautiful wood of the communion rail, candelabra, the reredos and dossal curtain behind the altar, again all made of very beautiful wood. The cross that hangs behind the altar was a gift of Pastor Richard Shibley. The altar itself has some beautiful wood carving in it. course, one of the things that people will miss will be these symbols which are painted onto the wall, symbolizing the 12 apostles, or rather 12 disciples. The organ pipes are located here above the choir loft. Another thing that we hope to do in the new church building is to have the organ pipes pointed more towards the congregation so that the congregation will benefit more from the sound that comes out of those pipes. A closer look at the baptismal font. This front area of the church, until recently, had an additional pew and a rail in front. We recently removed that. You can see the area where it used to sit. We took that out in order to provide space for handicapped people. And it has proven to be a useful move on our part. We hope to have better access for handicapped people in our new church building. This is also where the bell choir often will sit their tables and will play from the front of the church here. Moving down onto the level of the pews, I will turn around and give you a closer look at the lectern and the woodwork that is upon it. Here is the pulpit. With the carved symbols upon it. The Alpha and the Omega, the dove. The symbol for the Trinity. The cross and the crown. The IHS symbol for Jesus. of the things that is sometimes difficult for worship is the narrowness of the aisles in this church. The side aisle especially is very narrow. The center aisle is somewhat wider, but still not really wide enough for two people to walk comfortably side by side. A lot of pastors and people have made the walk down this aisle over the years. Again, the view of the church from the very back of the church. Probably should take a closer look at the pews. These pews are very old. They have some beautiful wood in them. Some burled walnut, perhaps. And perhaps we should take a little time to look at the windows that are in this area. I think it's safe to say that most people, at least looking at the windows at first, find them very attractive. One of the nice things about this worship area is that it is a very bright room. Lots of light comes into it. Of course, you can also see some of the problems that we've had with the windows and the way that the leading is coming apart from the glass. Come with me now up the staircase and to the balcony. This is the balcony. The first thing you see when you get to the balcony is the rope going up through the ceiling and to the bell. The ring that bell each Sunday at the beginning of our worship service. Over the years, some of the pews from downstairs have been removed to make more room. As we said, a couple of pews were removed from the front to make room for more handicapped accessibility. Some years ago, some pews were removed from the back of the church so that that area would not be quite as congested. Try to get a picture of the window that is in the back of the church off the balcony. This window goes up. There is a round window above this that cannot be seen from the inside of the church. Trying to correct this a little bit so that we can see that the colors in that glass a little better. This window is somewhat different from the windows that are in the side of the church. One of the nice features of the windows that many people find very attractive are the little diamond shape at the top of each of these side windows, which have some kind of a symbol in them. And this is the view from the balcony. I think it's time to go take a look at our narthex, so I'll meet you down there. One of the things that we hope to have in the new worship area is a larger narthex. As you can see from what you're seeing here, the narthex is very small, perhaps 9 feet by 10 feet, 12 feet perhaps at the most. These are the front doors of the church, painted red on the outside. They lead out onto South Columbus Street. The stairway leads down to the basement. Now would be an appropriate time for us to go down and take a look at that. There was a time when there was no basement underneath the church. That was part of a remodeling project to add that some years ago, I believe in the 50s, when the church was stripped nearly to nothingness, and a bulldozer was brought in to scoop out the dirt underneath the church, put in a new floor in the church, and to add some new space underneath. This is the hallway that was created underneath the worship area. It has become principally a storage area for tables, for ladders. Ping pong tables. I'll get my key out of my pocket here, and perhaps we can see what's behind this door. This is what is known as the custodian's room, just off the hallway. Come in and take a look at that. There is a concrete block wall here. Some things stored on top of it. A workbench. Here you see some of the original foundation of the church. This window looks out on the alley between the church and the Angelini Pontiac next door across the alley. In the dark area back here, where you can't really see very well, is an area of dirt that was not excavated when the church was built. There was some feeling that perhaps it would not be safe to excavate all of the dirt from underneath the church for fear that the foundation might not hold. That's just one of the areas where that was done. Now let's go across the hall to what many people refer to as the dirt room. It's right here behind this door. Let me move this cart and we'll take a look. I've got the cart out of the way. We come to the door. I'll open it. We'll take a look inside. I'll see if I can find the light switch here. There we are. The dirt room. I'll step inside. I'm not sure how much of this we can get with the lighting that we have. This concrete block wall here is one of the walls to the restroom, the men's restroom, which is on the other side of it. But here we see the on the ceiling the precast concrete slabs that were brought in the 50s to make a new floor for the worship area upstairs. Within these precast concrete slabs are the heating tubes for the hot water heat, which heats the building. This is an area where apparently there was a chimney at some point in the church's history. And here you see the foundation. This is dirt, original earth that was not excavated. Down here is some of the main problems that we have with the foundation of the church, that perhaps this is not adequate to hold the church up for the long term. The dirt room. Let me come out and put the cart here back in its place, close the door, and I'll be with you in a second. We're back in the hallway. The cart is back in front of the dirt room door. Let's see what we can find right here in the men's restroom. Now, not everybody gets to go in the men's restroom, but since I can assure you that there's nobody here right now, I think it would be okay to come in and take a quick peek. just for the sake of our memories, and remembering what this building was like that we spent so much time in. I think that's probably enough for the men's restroom. We're out of the men's restroom. We come to the water cooler. The very popular Pepsi machine. The last thing here underneath the main part of the worship area is the women's restroom. And I think we'll discover that there's nobody in there either. Let me get the light switch. There we are. Hey, who's that guy in the mirror? I guess there's nothing real exciting to see, but nevertheless, we wanted everybody to be able to remember all the parts of the building. If I can get the door, we'll head out. Just let me get that light switch. This brings us to the small social hall. I'm going to stop the tape for a second and go over and turn the lights on. There. Lights are on, and you can get a good picture of the small social hall. This too was not original to the church, but was added later on. Some years ago, some of the heating tubes broke and began leaking, and so it's been some time since we've had heat in this room, and that explains why you might see an electric heater around here. That's what we have used in the last several years to heat this room with. Needless to say, we're looking forward to not having to use this and being toasty warm in the new building. Over here is a small stage which has since been turned into a storage area. Among the things kept in here are the materials that are used, cots, for instance, for the Habitat for Humanity trip, or the Tyran Work Camp as it was formerly known. And also some of the equipment that is needed by the Red Cross for their blood mobiles.